This video is going to have a look at the 4 components of anxiety and introduce the viewer to anxiety, as well as how the 4 components, when they do go wrong, lead to a disorder. So the first component is a subjective emotional response. A fear or sense of apprehension develops. Then there's a cognitive response. The person begins to worry and overthink. Then there's a physiological response. The person begins to experience increased heart rate and blood pressure, as well as muscle tension. Lastly, there's a behavioral response. The person tries to avoid the situation, and you can remember it by the mnemonic SCPB, Sally can probably behave. So let's look at an example of a normal anxiety response. So you could be a student going to an examination room, and you see the examination room and you feel an uncomfortable gut feeling. You start overthinking what will happen if you fail it and how disappointed your family will be. You may even think about not getting your degree. Your heart rate begins to increase as a result, and your palms start sweating, and you don't want to go into that examination room, but you force yourself because if you don't go into that examination room, it's not going to be pretty. So this stage here is a subjective emotional experience, and then you have the cognitive because you start overthinking, and the physiological response, your body starts to respond, and then behavioral, you have this sense of not wanting to go into that examination room. So that's normal at the extent described. It's okay, and you can apply that to other situations as well. But if you begin to irrationally fear events, which a majority of the population does not, if you feel these gut-wrenching feelings out of nowhere, if you experience these feelings frequently, or if the fear you feel for something is completely out of proportion to the event, it is likely that you have an anxiety disorder. It's okay to have some anxiety in your life, but when it starts to overtake your daily life and it interrupts your normal functioning and it happens out of nowhere, it's completely irrational, you don't know why you fear things so strongly you do, that's a disorder, and that's not good. So to summarize, the 4 components of anxiety are social, emotional, cognitive, physiological, behavioral, and if a person experiences a reaction out of proportion to the event consistently over a period of time, they are likely to have an anxiety or related disorder. The next few videos, I'm going to have a look at some of the related disorders and what are the characteristics of them.